I'm not. No, come on. Okay, I want the whole 20. Five, four, three, two. This joy I have, the world didn't give it to me, and the world can't take it away. Joy and happiness is a choice, and today I choose joy. No matter what life throws my way, I refuse to let circumstances dictate my peace. God has given us too much, brought us too far, and promised us too much for us to walk around defeated. This is the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Joy isn't found in things, it's found in gratitude, faith, and knowing that God is in control. So today, choose to smile, trust, and walk in the peace that only He can give. It's your main man, Action Jackson, and you're rocking with the Brunch Bunch right here on Inspiration 1390. It is my favorite day of the week. I haven't said that in a while, but you know, every day is my favorite day because I'd rather be sitting here than in the best cemetery money can pay for. I'd rather be here than the best hospital room money can pay for. I'm just excited to be in the land of the living with one more opportunity to get it right. Because you know what? Each and every day is another day for us to get it right. We're going to get it right today. Of course, it is Tuesday. Tell Me Something Good Tuesday, where Community Chatter will be going forth with Wynona Redmond of Win-Win Communications. She has some great guests. We're going to talk some hot topics. There's some things going on in the world. You know what? We don't even have to talk about it in the world. There's some things going on in the US of A that will have you flipping wigs. But you know what? We're going to talk about it. We're going to keep the faith. We're going to keep praying. As Charmaine from Uncle Remus Saucy Fried Chicken always says, call your friends and your frenemies and tell them to tune in to the Brunch Bunch right here on Inspiration 1390. In a crash and need some cash? Don't start panicking. So look, I was ready, but then I wasn't ready because Justice usually record my intro.
Oh, sorry.
No, it was cool. I put that up. Thank God for multiple phones. And let me make sure. Look, Zoe is on my live. Let me make sure my hair is okay. You know, she got me last time.
I gotta go outside and call my nana.
Okay.
None of her guests had responded.
Oh, Lord. Did he send you anything to print? Oh, I was about to say, wait, where there's no papers, no. So, but you look good, brother Marcel. All right, I got the Zoe approval. I'm okay. Okay, we got songs. Oh, good. I did want to talk about this. Is Justice tuned in? I wonder. If Justice is tuned in, I need the story on, and I'm gonna look too. The story on wait, what happened with Brandon Johnson?
It's an in the row story about Brandon Johnson.
What is that?
Congressional hearing.
When is it?
Wednesday. I'll put it up.
Okay. No, the Mexico, Canada, and somebody that snapped back said they finna start charging the U.S. Someone's at your door. Would you rather be caught off guard or be in control? Safety isn't optional. It's a necessity. That's why we trust Secure Home Automation. The experts in life. Okay, I'm gonna send you something. And right now, Secure Home Automation is offering an exclusive deal.
Like this here,
yeah.
Don't wait until it's too late. 40 seconds. Call 866-447-3344.
Yep.
That's right. Call Secure Home Automation today at 866-447-3344 and take control of your safety. That's 866-447-3344. Hey, it's your main man, Action Jackson. Life can throw you a lot of curveballs. Sometimes these life events can seriously hurt your credit score. A bad credit score can stop you from buying that home, a car, or starting a business. Well,
I
luckily,
sent you a story.
professionals at Wealthy Intentions are great at credit repair. They can help you address all those inaccurate, unverified, or unfair negative items on your credit report. It just takes one phone call and you'll walk away with a free credit analysis and a game plan to start fixing your credit. Call 872-319-3319 to get your free one-on-one credit evaluation today, and you can be laughing at bad credit tomorrow.
Oh, you know what? It ain't broadcasting.
3319 for your free credit evaluation.
All right, we want it home.
Well, of course, on the brunch bunch, we are black 365 days a year. Unless it's a leap year, then it's 366 days. And so in this Women's History Month, we are celebrating Black Women's History Month. And today's Black woman highlight is none other than Mae Jemison, who became the first Black woman in space. On September the 12th, 1992, Dr. Mae Jemison, a Peace Corps physician who dreamt about space travel from a young age, becomes the first African American woman to go into space. African American women are the most marginalized group of people in this country, but they have helped support and build up this country. And I know I would not be who I am today without amazing Black women. So we want to keep lifting up our Black women. And on Wednesdays, the Brunch Bunch and myself personally will be highlighting some Black women that we know personally doing some amazing things in this city, state, and country. So with that being said, that is our Black History Fact of the day. We're going to keep praising God. It's Charles Jenkins. God be praised right here on the Brunch Bunch. Dum, 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 dum. What's up, Facebook? Who we got? Who we got? What's going on? Oh, thank you. I was blind, but now I see. God be praised. Music list approved. Let me see. God be praised is a good one. I don't know. Up, up, up. I don't think Anthony Brown did. Angie Stone never do a gospel song. I meant to look that up. Oh, Zoe, can you look that up? Did Angie Stone ever do a gospel song? He did it. He did it. And it's been so good to me. All I can say.
That's an Angie Stone song. But
What's a positive one?
I don't know any of
Oh, right on. It's been so good to me. All I can say. You know, you know, and he. What's up? Oh, what's up, Facebook? What's up, YouTube? What's up, LinkedIn? I forgot we are broadcasting live on LinkedIn now. Didn't they? Didn't they? Didn't they? Didn't they? Didn't they? So we are worldwide web. I had to reach out to our viewers from London and Africa. I haven't seen them post lately. What's the question of the day? We gotta when Tammy, I be forgetting. We gotta start figuring that out to engage. Yeah, what can we? Yeah, Tammy be having the drama ready. Me either. Look, I don't. And look, I don't have none.
You want to do it in the raw? Or you want to?
What's going on?
You want to do it after the song? You want to play commercial?
You could do commercial.
How long do you let a family feud go on before you apologize?
That's a good one. How long? Our producer Jarrell said, how long do you let a family feud go on before you before you apologize or before you settle it? Because do you gotta be right or wrong?
That's the thing, bro. Like, it don't matter if you right or wrong because the other person ain't gonna settle it no way. So you gotta just, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I gotta apologize to my sister, and I ain't did nothing. But if I don't apologize, we just not never gonna talk. You know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, now I promise you I ain't did nothing. But it's
okay,
it don't matter who did something. It's who gonna be the bigger person. You hear me? Like,
that's a good.
You can do what my family does. We just don't talk about it at all.
And sweep it under the rug. Okay, so Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. How long do you allow family beefs go on before you squash it, right or wrong? Now, for me, unfortunately, I'm always the one to squash it because life is short, right? And people can be petty. But sometimes, and it's funny that you bring that up. So Instagram, the question is, let me make sure, look, Instagram a little closer. The question is, how long do you allow family beefs to go on before you settle them before right or wrong? For me, I'll settle them because now the Taurus in me, I'm a little bullheaded. I'll, let it go on. But after a while, the Holy Ghost convicts me and,
it's just like 2 months of cold shoulder and awkward. You know what I'm saying? I'm walking past you, not saying nothing and all that. I got about 2 months before I send it up. You know what I'm saying?
The family dinners are not right when you're wrong. But sometimes, like you said, you go and address it. I'll tell them how I feel, and it's up to them to what's up, Ash. It's up to them to accept it. But I said how I felt. I'm letting it go and moving on. And if you don't, then you got to deal with that. But I don't know. Harry, what you say? Zoe said Zoe said it depends on. Tina said, "Child, my daughter's a Taurus. She's amazing. It depends on if it has been repeated action. That's true. If I tell you what you are is affecting me in a negative way and you don't change it,
but look,
we may have beef
you
forever.
You gonna beef with your family forever? Like,
yeah, sometimes people,
you can't do that.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I just, family is family, but right is right and wrong is wrong. If they never apologize and keep doing it, I don't know, Brother Jarrell. All right. So what's going on is today, Tuesday the 4th, the U.S. is set to implement tariffs on Canada and Mexico, with President Trump eyeing a potential 25% tax on imports from both countries. The move stems from Trump's concern over illegal drugs and migrant flows, particularly fentanyl. Now, I want to pause there. Trump said that he believes drug dealers should get the death penalty. That's a whole nother story we'll talk about now. The U.S. Secretary of Commerce, Howard Lutnick, stated that while the tariffs are confirmed, the exact details will be negotiated by the president's team. Now, the decision comes amidst ongoing trade tensions, especially with China. Now, in response to the U.S. tariffs, Beijing has been preparing countermeasures, including targeting U.S. agricultural products. The growing trade standoff between the two economic giants raises concerns of a full-blown trade war. In Canada, officials have voiced their concerns over the tariffs, citing potential harm to both economies. Canada has prepared a list of U.S. goods worth $30 billion for retaliation, which includes common products, like pasta, clothing, and perfume. Despite this, Canadian officials assert that fentanyl trafficking, a key issue raised by the U.S., is not a significant problem coming from their country. Now, Mexican leaders have also weighed in, with President Claudia emphasizing, I'm not going to say her last name because I don't want to botch it, but President Claudia from Mexico emphasized that while cooperation with the U.S. is essential, Mexico will not tolerate subordination. Listen, this is like a soap opera right here. This statement came after the U.S. commerce officials reaffirmed their stance on the tariffs. Now, additionally, President Trump has announced plans to impose a 25% charge on steel and aluminum imports set to take effect on March the 12th. He's also threatened further tariffs on individual countries and the European Union, escalating concerns about global trade relations. Now, I want you to pay attention to this will affect things like pasta, steel, aluminum, perfume. For those of you that drink beer, I heard it's going to affect some of those things. I don't really know if it's going to be effective or not. And do we really want to get in a trade war with our countries? Now, I did find an article, and I want to quote Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. He said his country would plaster tariffs on more than $100 billion of American goods over the course of 21 days. And I quote, today, the United States launched a trade war against Canada, their closest partner and ally, their closest friend. At the same time, they are talking about working positively with Russia, appeasing Vladimir Putin, a lying, murderous dictator. Make that make sense, Trudeau said. Sound like he been in the hood somewhere, right, Jarrell? Make that make sense. Well, I'm kind of with the Canadian Prime Minister, and if you're not following us on social media, our behind-the-scenes question of the day is, if you're having beef with your family, how soon do you squash it, right or wrong? But that question that Jarrell, our producer, posed is really what Canada is saying. How are you trying to attack your closest friend and ally? Like, does that make sense? Now, Mexican President Claudia said Mexico will respond to the new taxes and tariffs. She will announce the products Mexico will target on Sunday. So, President Donald Trump said on his first day in office that he was going to lower the prices of goods. Now, of course, eggs and all of those things have not, and I say have not gone down. Somebody DM'd me yesterday that they paid $13 for a carton of eggs. Look, Jarrell said it's out of control. But just imagine now on the things that are not made in the U.S. And unfortunately, if you look at the tag, Mark Supreme, shout out to Mark Supreme, Peoria, Hot 97, I believe, he said Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau definitely been in the hood because he said make it make sense. But if we were trying to lower the price of goods, we also know that a lot of things are not made in America. If you just look at your tag on whatever you got on right now, I'm sure it's not made in America. So if we get in a tariff war, what effect is that going to have on America? So on Americans and our pocketbooks, as they say, our wallets and our finances. I don't know. I wish we could take callers. Jarrell, you tell me what you think about this trade war that your president has started.
I don't want to talk about Trump today, man.
Well, listen, you cannot go a day in this country right now without talking about Donald J. Trump, the Donald. And I mentioned this to someone the other day because they said, well, you guys are talking about Trump a lot. There's nothing else we can do. That's the news of the day, every day, all day. Now, you got to be very mindful about the news that you're watching and ingesting. When I heard a preacher say, when you watch the news and it becomes overwhelming, you got to pick up the good news. Right, and that's the word of God that will help you to understand all that's going on. And then not also just understand it, but be able to deal with it. You know, we got to continue to pray for our country and its leadership, no matter if you're on the left or the right, because right now they are in office and you got to pray for them. We are called to pray for our neighbors, our brothers and our sisters even if we agree with them or don't agree with them. So, we're going to keep you posted on the things that this will affect and how soon it will affect you. But, don't go to the store and buy a ball of eggs and raise the prices from $13 to $23. Get what you need. Just stay prayerful, stay mindful, and pay attention to what's happening around you. When we get back, we have some more hot topics and then community chatter with Wynona Redmond of Win-Win Communications. Don't go nowhere. We have way more to share right here on the Brunch Bunch on Inspiration 1390.
My bad, man. I'm trying to figure out.
I know. You're like, I don't want to talk about Trump.
Me.
I'm like, what kind of response? I don't want to talk about Trump.
I'm thinking of my sister. I'm like, man, I really got to apologize about this.
Oh, okay. So that was Jarrell's real drama.
Go
apologize.
It get worse. So look, check it out. So now I ain't talked to my sister in a couple months, right?
Now we lied.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So look, my mama and my sister, they been beefing too. Imagine my sister live with my mama, right? So they ain't been talking since about Christmas. Now my sister done took a whole vacation.
Hey.
And she ain't tell nobody
she in Jamaica.
We got two good ones. How you all doing?
I know, so we go. I figure we in good hands.
We got Kelly gonna be in there, and we got Kiana Barrett.
Gotcha. I saw that new VLC. Exciting time.
Just finished DNC. And
yeah.
She just finished Starling Bay.
Zoe says she sent you a Andy Stone song. Tina Hammond, he is like a dementia patient with a Sharpie writing all over the wall. Yeah, he is.
We're gonna do before May 10th. We're gonna do a pre-Mother's Day. That panel you couldn't speak on last year, and so I want you and Nick Rogers.
Oh, because he's doing amazing. Hey, doing amazing work.
Okay.
Welcome, ladies. Hey.
This is
That's
my sister from another mother.
Come on in.
You said that.
I haven't seen Kelly glamorous. She usually has hair in a ponytail. Okay. So you guys sit down.
I'm going to give you some microphones to hook up. So they can hear you.
Right? Okay. All right.
There you go.
Thanks.
Mic. Oh, sorry, bro. All my people took the day off today. I'm by myself. I know, right, Lord. Harry Bell said, go apologize to your sister, Jarrell.
Like, okay, so what I'm supposed to say? My bad that you don't know how to act around your mama on Christmas. Like, come on, I ain't.
You just say, I know we may have our differences, but life is short, and we're family. I love you. So here go this part, right?
How I'm supposed to avoid her from doing this again? Because now she knows she could just do whatever, and I'm gonna come apologize. You know what I'm saying?
No, you tell her you don't agree with what she did. You didn't like it, but you don't want nothing to happen where y'all not talking.
But I do want you to learn your lesson too.
Yeah.
You can't talk to mama like that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I feel like if I submit, then I'm pretty much condoning that behavior. I ain't condoning that behavior, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I'm really like. That's why I ain't built to be no parent, bro.
You need some water?
You'll make it work.
You'll be right on time. Excuse me.
Okay, so Jarrell, win-win. And we ready. You can fade this. Then we'll take a break and go to winning song. So Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. We got great guests. Let me make sure. Oh, Ronnie is getting them set up. We're going to add them as they come on board. And make sure to turn that volume down, Ronnie.
20 seconds. Ready, Marcel?
Wynona, you ready in 20 seconds? Yep, we ready.
Don't take my word for it. Try it for yourself and go to VGBstore.com. That's VGBstore.com.
Ronnie, you got to cut Wynona camera on. You on there, but it's no camera.
Go on there, Marcel. I'm going in.
Hi there, it's Wynona Redmond. It's time to win because it's time for community chatter. Brought to you by Win-Win Communications.
Well, each and every Tuesday, which is my favorite day of the week, we win because Wynona Redmond of Win-Win Communications comes in for community chat and brings some of the greatest guests in not only just the city of Chicago, the United States of America. And I know one day there's going to be some international guests pulling up because Wynona knows all of the great people. So let's welcome back Wynona Redmond. Woo, 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 woo.
Thank you, Marcel. I like the international people like Tamara Fair that got Jamaica roots
Yeah.
and world traveler. But it's so good to be, in Black History Month, we say 365 days Black. And in Chicago, when we have women and girls that rule the world, we have a city like no other.
Yes.
And I'm excited to kick off my first show in Women's History Month with two powerhouses. You know, I can say I don't mind being old. In Black History Month, Michelle Flowers Welch called me because she's on the PRSA board and she's, they got scholarships named after Michelle Flowers Welch. But she called and said, we're going to spotlight Black excellence in PR from the Public Relations Society of America in Chicago, and we want to spotlight you.
Wow.
So we got four people who spotlighted for Black excellence. Guess what? They had a category for young entrepreneurs, for students, and she spotlighted me for the senior. So I don't mind being old. And I look at decades of working with women in Chicago. Hetty Ratner was just a firehouse and a pioneer for women in business. Over 40 years ago for women's business development. I was a corporate sponsor for 10 years with Hetty. I would say I'm funding your passion project, your children in the basement. But when you go down to the networking event, I'm just a guest at your table. But we have Kelly Gumbiner here today because I needed help as a business owner after having worked with women's business development for over 40 years. And I went and saw Hetty, and she said, Amelia will help you. And then Roxanne is over there. Roxanne Ward, I'd known her. Roxanne was like, Amelia, we can help you. And they called and they said they gave me Kelly Gumbiner. And we have Kelly Gumbiner here today. And Kelly, let me get your title right. It's Access to Capital Program and Services. Kelly has been helping me get my business in order. So welcome, Kelly.
Welcome.
And I can go back to Kiana Barrett over 20 years. Kiana and I met when she was at Rainbow Push.
5 years old.
Yeah. You know what? Senior could mean that we ain't got to be senior, but it was over 20 years ago. Kiana has such a rich history, and I'm just so proud to say when you look at sisters in Chicago, Kiana has a tremendous path. And so I worked with Kiana at Rainbow Push. Then she was with the Alderman's office. Then she was you just had a path. Then she was a client at Sterling Bay, but she made sure she stepped into Sterling Bay and she did the doggone thing. And then we look up and she was managing at the DNC. And then we look up. I'm so excited to have Kiana Barrett as one of the newest women CEOs in Chicago with the Business Leadership Council. And she's worked we both have a common friend and fan and almost mentor in Avis Lavelle and Charles Smith. So welcome, Kiana.
Thank you.
And she's already stepped in with no chaser. She just came straight in shooting. She just came in straight from the DNC shooting. Welcome, Kiana.
Well, thank you so much for having us today. It's wonderful to be able to talk about woman power and to be able to do so with such a mega force like yourself.
Yeah. Well, thank you, but I'm just a senior, according to I'll take the Black excellence senior. But we got lots to talk about. And I say Marcel and Tamara Fair, they are serial entrepreneurs with businesses. Tamara wrote a book. She created a doll to go with the book. Then she created a perfume line. But Marcel has
and
done
a cologne
so many.
that I have on now.
Right.
I keep getting compliments. Shout out to Tammy.
Yeah. But welcome, ladies. Kelly, I wanted to start with you in terms of, we know women's business development, and we know that the mayor is in D.C. about, to testify. And when we talk about DEI and all of these programs that are on the menu and on the agenda, um, give a little bit about your background, because you have been helping women access to capital, and there's all these concerns on cuts, and do you need to make sure you don't talk about being a diverse certified. Tell us about your role. And then women's business development is on the forefront. And when you got fighters like Hetty Ratner and Amelia, and you got a new CEO coming in, tell us about what you do and the landscape, because and then we'll move back.
Sure. Well, I want to say thank you so much for being here, and it's such an honor. I had the pleasure of meeting with Wynona, and immediately there was that chemistry. And, when I think about the history and my experience, I'll just take you back a little bit for those of you, that you don't know me. So I have about 20 years in the financial industry, really working with business owners. It's been a passion of mine since I was young. I come from a family of entrepreneurs as well. And really it's focusing on providing pathways to fuel capital for our business owners. And so I left the banking industry and I started working with the Women's Business Development Center, and I actually started as a contractor. And I started through the Cook County program, providing advisory services, and really focused on identifying, what were some of the root causes within a business where we're looking at the hardships. We think about, what has happened with the pandemic. And right now, I've been with the Access to Capital team. I came on as the director, and really providing access to programs and one-on-one advising services. So you asked a couple different questions, and what I can share with you is that really the WBDC is focused on supporting and continuing to provide, these types of services with growth and development to targeted to women, but to all business owners.
Yeah.
So that's not going to change. And when you think about resilience and what we've all been through, making sure that you have a powerful network, just having the invite today to share some of the resources we have to offer, it's really encouraging. So, part of this is really, and loving to learn more about all that you have to offer, is building that connectivity within, our local neighborhoods, and really understanding what are some of the resources. So when we think about, you brought up, DEI and really how we're expanding, and I'll just go back to, we service and are an advocate for success and really driving, women and men. And it's really understanding that economic independence
and providing the education,
but also accessibility to the resources that are necessary to be successful.
And you can speak in the numbers, because when you have a title like Access to Capital, I went to Hetty Ratner and I said, Hetty, I used to, I used to be your corporate sponsor, and I said, but I've been in business at that point last year. I said, I've been in business 12 years, and this is the first time that I need to look at cash flow and other issues. And she said, I was sitting outside at the conference, and she said, of course we'll help you. So she said, talk to Amelia. And then I was looking for Amelia, and Roxanne was like, yeah, talk to Amelia. Then Amelia called, and she's got a banking background, and she's been phenomenal. And she was like, of course I know, you've been around women's business development forever. Then the next thing I knew, she gave me Kelly. And Kelly, you're being modest, you bring the money home. You help tie folks to money. And she helped me go through everything from Sam's to all these. She was like online pulling up stuff, fixing stuff, and saying Dun and Bradstreet. And she was like, you should be a multi-million-dollar company. You should have a credit line of this over $150,000. And she said, and these are the grants. So you just had all these resources. And so I was like, you know, I started as a corporate sponsor, but I actually benefited as a woman-owned business with a woman organization. And fast forward to Avis Lavelle. I call Avis a fairy godmother to win-win, because when I look at all that BLC has done in helping businesses, you know, she has been a mentor to so many businesses. She has been, you know, she's helped so many of us. But what I've seen with the Business Leadership Council going through so many growth changes to reach Kiana Barrett there. Kiana, I just want you to do a little bit more of your personal journey, because you went from the government side to making that entree and succeeding in corporate, which is not easy. And so you had the Sterling Bay path to DNC. And I think you probably have a whole lot of learning and power to bring to BLC, because you've already coming in going bang, bang, bang. So what's the perspective on your new CEO role?
Sure. Well, this is a critical intersection that we're in as a country, as we look at so much of the dismantling of efforts and successes that have been made. But it was Michael Eric Dyson that said that we have already been through what we have come to.
All right.
And so recognizing that we've been here before.
Yep.
And so we have to now ensure that we are building a legacy so that we will not have to endure some of these same challenges. So the BLC is focused very much on a singular advocacy for African American business participation in the larger economy based upon and proportionate to talent. And I think when we think about what is happening with the redefinition of DE&I and how that is being completely misrepresented on so many fronts, we're talking about just creating access to opportunities that otherwise would not be available.
Yeah.
Reverend Jackson would always say, we didn't know how great baseball could be until everybody could
play.
So we have to, as a nation, make sure that we're creating a bench of talent. And so this kind of synergy is so important, that we have media platforms such as you all to really distill what is happening, because there's also a very deliberate misinformation campaign.
Yes.
That if we're not careful, we will become in such a frenzy that we're missing the mark. And so it's organizations such as this are very committed to making sure that we're advancing the needle and creating sustainable opportunities that will not waver based upon who is in the White House or whatever the flavor of the day may be.
That's it. Now, before we go on, because I know some people are asking, and I just want Kelly and Kiana just to briefly tell what your organization mission is, who do you help, so that people know why to reach out.
And we're gonna definitely give your website. And
so Kelly,
go right here.
Sure. Yeah, no, everybody's like, wait, who's first?
WBDC.org.
It's www.wbdc, so Women's Business Development Center.org. You got it. And I'll just put a plug out there, because there's a event page within the WBDC as well that you can navigate to. And the reason I want to highlight that, there's a synopsis with descriptions of local events that are also online and featured through webinars, and also there's designed curriculum that's based within cohorts that are specific to, and I'll just get from a life cycle and go back to really the mission and what we're focused on. So the WBDC, it's been around for over 39 years. It's in 9 different regions, and when you think about capturing impact, the WBDC is focused on growth and development with targeting women business owners, but also reaches out to all business owners, meaning men as well, veterans, minorities. So it's a full suite of services. And we also identify before pre-venture startups, also established and emerging businesses. So there's really a program that can be identified. And what's really important is understanding what you just touched on, is the accessibility to resources. And I think that's what we have to bring home, is that when we hear some of the actual key indicators, it's being intentional and still getting, the information out there that there is support to business owners.
And with the certification.
Yes. So with we also offer with WBE certification, and you have to be 51% owned and controlled and operated as a woman. We also have other certifications that provide opportunities to contracting. So when you're looking at bidding, so within that, there's also a government e-commerce. It's a government cohort that's designed really for identifying and capturing those opportunities as well. And there's also, a digital learning platform, which is great for self-sufficiency, and also identifying like self-independent paced learnings. And we, through the access to capital, and I'll just share, there's, accessibility through our newsletter. We also have a YouTube channel that's dedicated to 1-minute short clip videos on accessing, different ways to really grow. And there is also, from a network connectivity standpoint, different cohorts. And real quick, this was earlier, it ran from last year to this year, and it was a cohort called Data to Revenue. I was one of the lead facilitators, and really focused around providing an understanding to build a stronger financial acumen to business owners. And it was, around 27 to 30 entrepreneurs, and the revenue ranges were from 200,000 all the way up to 10 million. So there's a wide range.
10 million. You said that real quiet. They work with businesses.
All stages, and even businesses that are looking at where they're starting out with a couple thousand. So it's really pre-venture and startups. It's really programs for everyone.
It's great. And the accessibility, I mean, Kelly's been like bang, 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 snap, snap, snap. The connections that were made, it's really, after having been a corporate sponsor for years, I actually benefited and have a whole new respect for all that women's business development is doing, and such a diverse group of women. And Kiana, we come from the Keep Hope Alive Rainbow Push. And, in this time when all these businesses are being attacked and people are saying the DEI and the, minority certification, it's like maybe we downplay that now so that we're not a target. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is the bottom line. And I think BLC is more about green, and you've got relationships with the economic clubs. So
the impetus to the BLC being formed was roughly about 15 years ago, and it was a compilation of some of our most successful African-American business leaders, from John Rogers to Jim Reynolds to Frank Clark, and they recognized the lived experience that they had as it related to being able to just compete in the marketplace, not asking for a handout, but just asking for an opportunity to have a seat at the table. And what they understood was how critically important it was to create an incubator that would allow for further growth and development, and to make sure that it would be a complement to the suite of services that exist already in the landscape. And just listening to you talk about the various services that you provide. When my father taught me how to drive for the first time, he said, Kiana, the best way to ensure that you will not have a car accident is to stay in your lane.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If you must
stay in your lane.
Keep your eyes on the road, stay in your lane.
And so I utilize that as a business practice. Mm-hmm. When we think about all of the services that businesses need, from startup to corporate, we need to make sure that we understand where those resources lie and where we can provide access to those sort of resources. And so, for certification purposes, for access to capital, what we do is point those businesses into those directions with like-minded partners, so that we have a universe of services. But we also are building a legacy so that we can preserve our story, our best practices, and make sure that utilizing the DNC, for an example, we had the highest number of minority-owned firms to participate in the history of a Democratic or Republican convention ever.
Yeah.
You made history.
So we demonstrated that it could be done. And there's always a first. And so now we want to make sure that it's not the last.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's important for our organization to continue to ensure that we are meeting innovation because so much is changing.
Yep.
So we have to make sure that that is top of mind for our business professionals. But we also recognize the importance of leveraging talent that we have within these corporations so that when we are looking at their buying guide, we can make sure that we have firms within our network to help source those needs. And if we see that there may be an oversaturation in some markets, but a deficit in others, how do then we build a bench? How do we work with Chicago Public Schools or the trades to make sure that there's going to be representation in areas where they're not? And so it's that kind of study and that kind of intentionality that's really going to be exciting and necessary in this climate that we're in.
Well, I want to just add real quickly, shout out to both of you ladies for doing some amazing work. Wynona, when she first connected with Women's Business, we had coffee that morning. You like, they gonna help me do this. This is what they do. This is amazing. And I'm like, what about the brothers? So I'm glad to know that it's not just women. And Kiana, congratulations on BLC. I was able to have a front row seat to see the work you did with Shauna Davis with the DNC. Shout out to Shauna. That's how I got that front row seat. But I saw you all doing some amazing work and making sure we were represented. But I want the believers to know. People are saying they want info. WBDC, you want to connect business owners. You need some help. You need development. You need funding and access to capital. The title alone, Directive Access to Capital, says everything you need to know. You want to connect. And BLC, when it comes to the top of the top Black leaders in this city, shout out to Wynona, who brought me to a meeting once. And
she's a member.
And a member. Look, I got to get my membership going. But I actually, if you're a business owner, you want to see if you can be a part. You got to be,
Right. Remember, you were brought in because I was inviting you to the communications committee.
Yes, right. I know.
So Grace, Marcel,
so I'm coming.
Diana Lewis, come on through the communications committee.
But I want people to know how important it is to try to become a member if you can, because it's a room full of amazing people. And shout out to one of your members I talked to this morning, Kareem Edwards, the owner of Chick-fil-A in the South Loop, Black brother, who I nominated for Men of Excellence.
Okay. But Kiana, one of the big things too that I think has, the fact that you came off this wave, this is just going to be wind beneath BLC, because that's bringing that wave on up to those pioneers and founders. But something that BLC that I know Avis has talked about is you also have looked at mentoring. Mm-hmm. I love the fact that, before it was the biggest and the best and the strongest and how we collaborate, but the fact that you are also looking at mentorship and the fact that you also are looking at community-based organizations. Donald Dew has the historically Black community-based organizations. Right. The fact that those are the ones that are in jeopardy right now, and the fact that BLC is saying, like you said, we've been here before, we can do it again. Exactly. But like, you get ready to do it again. Let's do it again real big.
Yeah.
That's right. And again, it's about establishing an institute of best and better practices. So that each and every time we are imparting that information, it's how we got here, and it's how future generations will as well. And so the more that we think about economic mobility and how it enhances the quality of life, and continues to make cities such as Chicago a world-class place to live, work, and play. But it's up to us to work cooperatively to make sure that we are demonstrating it can be done. Young people aspire to be what they see.
Yep.
And so we've got to make sure that we expand their field of vision.
So that future word is it. So we always run out of time, but you're in, and so what can be expected? You've got a vision. And what I love is you're like, we're not going to rush. We're going to do it right in time. You've got a women's group. And what kind of other programming are you going to have? And as we wind down, Kelly, we got a future. You got a new CEO coming. But what's your plan? Because I've seen some bang bang bang.
Sure. So as I said before, it is a missed opportunity for us not to address the concerns about DE&I and these executive orders and the impact of tariffs on small businesses and businesses of color. Yeah. So we are convening a meeting with our public policy leaders and our legislators, because that's where it all intersects, to make sure that we understand what is really unfolding in Washington. How does that trickle down to the state and the county and locally, and how can we be proactive? Yeah. This is a time for us to make sure that we are organized and assembled and as self-sufficient as we know that we can be and that we should be.
I love so you're giving power to the power to the policy making. Right,
exactly.
Well, listen, Kelly, you're doing amazing work. How can people connect with you again and your organization?
Absolutely. So you can connect with us at www.Women's Business Development Center, so wbdc.org. And my email, you can also email me as well, is k.gumbiner@wbdc.org. I just also wanted to say thank you so much. It's really been amazing working with you. And if there's anything that I can put out there is if we can continue to be a beacon and really illuminate, really for those, young generations and women to really, and I love how you said it best, to, inspire as we aspire. So it's really just being out there and really making a difference.
And you have some milestone big event dates every year. When is you got a conference coming up?
We do have an annual conference that's every year. It's the Midwest Convention that's in September. And then we also, I'll just share with you as well, a webinar that's coming up in a couple weeks, and it's through a combination with us in the procurement office, where we're doing strategies on pricing and some other understanding.
So go to wbdc.org
and click on events, and then go to blcchicago.com and see how you can become a member. Listen, we run out of time, but we never run out of content. And Wynona, thank you once again for always bringing great guests.
Thank you, Marcel.
We encourage you to keep Love 24 alive. Tell someone that you don't know that you love them. Tell someone that you do know that you love them. Love will begin to spread like a wildfire. Wynona, Tamara, I love you.
We love you.
Believers, we love you. Baby M and them, we love you. Up next is AC Green. We get it done all night long right here on Inspiration 1390. All right, 1 second to spare. Facebook, see you all. Make sure you connect. For everybody that was asking, I'll make sure that we post it on our social media, the links to both organizations. You want to get connected, access to capital, access to resources and legislation and being at the table. Both of these ladies together, we all going to have $10 million line of credit. So let's do it. See you all tomorrow.
Make sure.